Guys, and welcome back to Let's Play Lahn. So, in this video, don't really have a super set topic. I was thinking of talking about hacking though. So, as everyone has probably recently heard, either through YouTube or Reddit or the forums, there is a large number of hackers currently existing in the BDO community. Now, today, a ban wave went out. I say today, but I'm not sure if I'm releasing this today, so the 6th of June. Ban wave went out, hit like 730 players. But from reports, we know that there's about 3,000 to 4,000 players using the hacks, from what people on Reddit have deduced. We know there are still hackers out there, we know there's still people hacking, but this was only the first ban wave, so it's good. But hacking actually has pretty huge implications in not just Black Desert, but lots of other games. But we'll stick to talking about Black Desert for this video, as of course it's Black Desert that we're playing. So, hacking in Black Desert, it kind of impacts the game a little less than in other games. It's still huge, it still really messes with the economy. You do not want hackers in the game, trust me. But it's not as bad as in a game such as World of Warcraft or Old School RuneScape, where hacking would allow you to then trade any of your ill-gotten gains over to legit accounts. So you could hack on some alts, just killing alts pretty easily, and then use your ill-gotten gains to send it to a bunch of other accounts. A mix of kind of legit and your own accounts. So you wouldn't want to send it all to your own accounts, kind of to obfuscate it. If you send it all to one account, or even just 2 or 3 accounts, it's pretty obvious who you kind of are, unless you're a gold seller. And both accounts are probably going to get banned just because they don't want people buying hacked items either. A lot of people here today. So it's definitely worse in a game with trading, but in Black Desert, hacking is pretty bad because what it affects is the economy. And the economy in Black Desert is one of the biggest parts in the game. In a game such as World of Warcraft, you don't need to really use the economy. In fact, if you have enough alts, you can avoid using the economy entirely. You don't have to use the auction house, you don't have to buy items. You can gather all your own items, make all your own potions and enchantments. It's not exactly an optimal method of play, but you can do it, right? And even if you don't do it, all you really need the economy for are minor stuff that is still pretty expensive, but not too bad, such as enchantments and flasks for raiding. In Black Desert, what you need the economy for is gear. If you don't use the auction house to get yourself gear, the marketplace, you are going to be behind. There's no other way around it. You need to be using the auction house to get gear, because most of your gear, the only ways to get it are Night Vendor, which still takes a ton of money, the bosses themselves, and occasionally a random event will give you a box for your class so that you can get gear on your own. I'll say for your class, but I mean the box is for any class, right? Like you just open it and it gives you the weapon of the class. So one of the most important parts of this is pre-order, because if you don't want to have to go through the RNG of sniping, for example, I've sniped on quite a few Lahn dandelions today, then you are going to have to use pre-order, which means you are basically competing with other people for your silver. And without hacking, silver is a fairly, I'm not going to say totally fair competition. Obviously, people that are in guilds that have been getting massive payouts, for example, Man Up for 32 weeks, are going to have way more silver than you and I. Oh, there's another dandelion being registered. I'm not even going to try pre-ordering those. They're pre-ordering right now at over 1 billion silver for an unupgraded. If I'm really that desperate, I'll just use my Shikatu seals, and I'm just going to use those on my duo ogre. Probably fail it to try anyways, but at least it's a better prospect than using it on a dandelion, usually. If I get really desperate, I might still get myself a dandelion crimson glaives. Hopefully, though, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use all my alt's energy on the Night Vendor for the next, I want to say 2 weeks until the Night Vendor discount event's over. And hopefully he offers me a Lahn Dandelion. Hopefully. There's a very good chance he won't, but, you know, there's an okay chance he will. Alrighty. So I'm going to keep grinding even once I hit 56. I want to at least get my grinding out of the way. I don't really want to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't really want to waste my grinding hour getting my awakening. I will get my awakening after the grinding hour is finished. But, and I'll definitely do the awakening quest, like on a Let's Play as well, because the awakening quest is actually pretty interesting for newer classes. Strikers was actually one of my favorite awakening quests in the game. Dark Knights was pretty boring. Most of the earlier classes were pretty boring. It wasn't until, I want to say Striker actually, they started doing unique awakening quests. And I want to say that they've actually changed a few of the older classes to slightly more unique awakening quests now. Or at least you don't have to kill golems anymore. But hopefully Lahn has a nice, interesting awakening quest, and then the Crimson Glaives should be a lot of fun. But yeah, so back to hacking. So with a pre-order, you're competing against other people in terms of money, which it's not a fair competition for earning money, but it's a fairly fair competition for winning the pre-order. Whoever has the most money wins. What hackers do is they totally destroy this balance. Like I've said in other videos, Black Desert's kind of a game where it's a fight over limited resources. And limited resources in Black Desert, it's not generally gathering resources. It's grind spots, limited high-end gear, because people keep blowing theirs up, limited accessories especially, and there's a few other things, but mostly, oh, and nodes, territories, stuff like that. Stuff that cannot be gained by more than one group. I guess it didn't get one in pre-order, which is pretty good news for me. Maybe I'll switch over at like 15, see if I can bid on that. It's a pretty good pre-order. It's not a perfect system, but at least it's better than not having pre-order. And the big thing about pre-order is that hackers destroy the balance of pre-orders. Because there's only so many items that go up for sale every day, especially for the desired items, such as Lahn Dandelion, or Tri-Boss accessories, or Tet Boss gear, because there's such a limited number, everyone wants them, and the pre-order prices get inflated. But before, it was manageable, as when everyone can only earn about 10 to, at most, 20 to 30 million silver an hour, and that's at very high end, you don't really have to worry too much about pre-orders getting so inflated that you can't compete. Unless it's something like a pen, in which case you've got the uber rich coming out of basically retirement to use their massive amounts of life skilling empire money to win the items. Alright, 1 second, I want to take some points out here. I get points of Nimbus Stride 3. Got a 3-point stipple and 4-point splatter, as well as Cambidium. Key points in Blooming Netherflower. But we'll take them out of Sacred Dance. And we'll keep them in the passive. I'm just doing that because I don't want to have to use a skill reset once I hit 56 in less than 1%. No, it's hackers. I know I'm kind of disjointed, but I didn't really make a script for this. It's just kind of a spur of the moment let's play. So, hackers destroy the balance of this because hackers can make 300 million silver an hour if they're farming Histria, which is what most hackers are farming. The software is, or at least was, totally free to get. It's really easy to set up. I haven't done it myself, but from reports of other people that have. And it's it allows them to make stupid amounts of money. Really easily too, just by botting. You can technically do it actively too, but there are bots that will allow you to autoplay and auto-kill. So, hackers earning 300 million silver an hour is terrible for the economy. If you earn 300 million silver an hour, that means 2 hours is enough for you to put a pre-order for pretty much any base boss gear in the game, except for a brand new item such as the Lahn Dandelion. And even that's going to drop to about 400 or 500 million silver pre-order in probably about 2 to 3 weeks, once the excitement over Lahn's awakening is down and the dedicated players kind of go back to their class, and it's just people slowly earning dandelions and putting them into the economy, because Lahn is still the most desirable dandelion. Why did this activate again? Did leveling up just put that back for me? Alright, we're gonna make a brand new chat box, because I don't want to have to take it out. That will just show if people want to talk to me over the grind spot, because I don't really want to ignore people. That's pretty bad form. So we'll just enable a single chat box. But yeah, so if you're earning 300 million silver an hour, like, you don't care about pre-order prices that are 200-300 million. That's an hour, right? Like, an hour of grinding is a decent amount to dedicate to a game. But in Black Desert, an hour of grinding isn't that much, and 300 million silver is a lot of money. Even endgame players, they're going to kind of feel it if they spend 300 million silver frivolously. So it's not something they can just do. It's a shame I have to do a quest to unlock the Lahn's Dandelion, the Awakening, because if I could, I would totally just purchase one off the auction house right now. In fact, I want to say I've got a box for it stuck in Velia for the blue that I was going to sell today. Okay, so 300 million silver an hour, it's a lot of money. And it really makes hackers destroy the economy, because when pre-order prices suddenly go from 1.4 to 1.5 billion for a TET, which is still, it's a lot of money. You're looking at about 300 to 400 extra 300 400 extra million silver per TET that's sold. And that silver doesn't go back into the economy, right? The extra pre-order stuff, you only get about 20% of the extra up to a certain point, might even be less. I don't really sell huge pre-order items very often. So the silver is being taken into the economy, but more is just being driven back into the economy every day from the history hackers. They keep on grinding, they keep on getting more and more silver, and they keep on inflating the prices. And because of how the fixed auction house works, we can't really do anything about it, because it's not like the extra silver is coming back into our pockets. It's not inflation for everyone in the game. They're not driving prices up so that the average grinder who's selling Gruntle drops or plus 15 gear or even Blackstones and stuff, we're not driving prices for that stuff up. It's literally the fixed prices really work against us in the case of hackers. Because fixed prices, they work when the game is equal. When everyone is earning similar amounts of silver, then those that have more time have more money, and but the amount of money you get is still pretty much equivalent to the time you put in. If I'm putting in 10 hours a day and earning 10 million an hour, I'm making 100 million a day. And if someone else can also earn 10 million an hour but only puts 1 hour in a day, I'll have 10 times as much money as they do. But that only means I can buy 10 times the amount of things they can. I can't buy one thing for 10 times the price unless I put a pre-order down, because the fixed prices mean that I can't drive up the price, even though if the average amount of time played per day is 9 hours, I'm only earning 11% more silver than the average player. So fixed prices benefit the game when the game is kind of equal around, but they really start to show their problem when mass inflation starts to happen from people like the history hackers, who are driving up prices for pre-orders but not putting the silver back into the economy, economy through the rest of the players' hands, but only keeping it in their own accounts and having it disappear back into the ether after most of the pre-order, the extra silver from the pre-order, disappears into the void as a sort of money sink. And money sinks are meant to combat inflation, but hacking makes it a very one-sided inflation. I'm not going to make this a super big lesson on economics, my other degree, but pretty much when inflation happens, you want it to at the very least go through the entire economy, and ideally you don't want any inflation to happen at all, and you want to control the market price and control for that, lower prices across the board, and deflate the value of your dollar as increased inflation has impact on other economies. But that is all a little beyond the scope of this video, so I'm not going to go too in depth. But just in general, hacking, it's really bad for the game, and the amount of time that hacks have gone on is worrying. Yes, we finally got bans with the patch today, but it's almost a little too late. It's pretty clear that they only did bans because of the outrage. There's been mass outrage on Reddit for the last probably about 4 or 5 days. Videos are being posted every day of hackers. They're showcasing the various types of hacks. There's a pretty funny video of a ninja being killed by a berserker who grabbed him, teleported 300 feet in the air, and then teleported away, leaving the ninja up there. Probably not as funny to the ninja, like, it was cool, but it's definitely not what you want to be seeing. Should I go bid on that item, I wonder? Yeah, I'll kill this pack, and then I'll go see if I can bid on that dandelion. One of these days I'm going to win something, right? I haven't won a Zarka yet, so one of these days I'm bound to win something. There's my self-reported purge. There we go. It should be going up in about 2 minutes. And unfortunately, because I'm grinding in Medea, I do not have extra money in Altanova in order to bid on boss gear. I've only got about 7 million, which is enough if I want to bid on stuff like, not bid on, but purchase stuff such as pets, food, purchase myself any items I need while grinding, such as consumables, but it's not enough to bid on boss gear. I don't quite have enough extra money to throw 100 million silver into the storage over at Altanova just so I can bid while I'm grinding Medea. The unfortunate problem with marketplace maids. If only I could just use my marketplace maids from any storage, that'd be so ideal. So just in case, to make sure I don't miss it. So from all the reports, Lahn, her awakening is a pretty sweet looking awakening. Like, I'll be getting it fairly soon. I am 56 now on my Lahn. So her awakening, it looks really cool. It's just kind of cool in general. Where am I? It's 2 swords, the Crimson Glaives. So I mean, they're calling them glaives, but really they're swords. It's just they're held in a reverse grip, which makes them, I don't want to say glaives, because a glaive is a polearm, right? The Musa uses a glaive. That's what his weapon should actually be called. Not the Crescent Blade, it's a glaive. Crescent Blade, I suppose, might be the Eastern term for it. Alright, so clearly it should be in the next set to go up. Yeah, so went up at 9:01. It is currently 9:16. So 90 seconds until the next one goes up. And then 15 minutes after that, a +4 will also go up. I'll be honest, I'm having a lot of fun with the Lahn. Like, I haven't had this much fun playing Black Desert since I first picked up the Dark Knight. And the Dark Knight's problem in Awakening is that her Awakening, it's a lot of fun at first, but it gets kind of boring because you've got like 4 viable moves. So we'll move away from hacking for now. There's like 4 viable moves for the Dark Knight in her Awakening. You've got Spirit Legacy, Seed of Corruption, Shattering Darkness, Spirit Hunt, Twilight Dash. Is there anything else actually? I've named 5, but I almost want to put pre-order on that. see if I can. Zerka plus 11. Where are you? Just missed it too. I will cancel the pre-order then. Alright, so... I wonder what it sold for in the pre-order. Like, did I just miss it? Like, was I a tiny bit too late? Should I have moved a bit faster and I'd have got it? We'll check after the dandelion goes up. Yeah, pre-ordering, there's actually an art to selling items to people through pre-orders. You want to do it literally just before the next pre-order tick goes by. So ideally what happens is you see this go up, and then you see the pre-order instantly come up right after it. Alright, let's bid on these slaves. Please let me win them. Please, please, please. I know I'm bidding against literally thousands of other people. But come on, I haven't won an item, like a decent item, in like 2 months. Just by bidding on literally like 200 or 300 Zarkas so far for the Lahn. And every try Zarka for the Musa went up for like a month and a half. But yeah, hacking, it puts a lot of money into the hands of certain players, which they can then... Nope. Alright, so what was I going to look at? Right. The Zarka. KZ. So the plus 11... Yeah, it went for 166, so my 170, it would have won it. Oh, that hurts. I could have had it. I could have had my Lahn Zarka. I was just a tiny bit faster. I do wish that just pressing this would instantly bring you to the marketplace. That would be a nice quality of life change. As it is, I've got to kind of type it in. I suppose I should put the Zarka in favorites. Same with the dandelion. Might as well do that now. Favorites, it lags the marketplace like fucking crazy. Alright, so what is it? Main weapon, Crescent Pendulum. List of favorites. So I got a main weapon now. Alright, there we go. And I'll do the same with her Crimson Glaives. Alright. Unfortunately, using favorites lags the marketplace to hell and back again. But it is what it is, right? But yeah, so hacking, it puts the money into the hands of players that don't deserve it, frankly. I was going to say, I'm not going to say don't deserve it. No, they don't deserve it, right? They are earning 20 to 30 times the average amount of silver per hour that should be possible. They are... I'm buying a Tri-Nuber Hornbow. They are taking rotations from history away from people that might want to actually do them. And they're hurting the average player in the game too, because when people like that are winning all the pre-orders for anything they want, for example, whenever they think a piece of boss accessory is going to go up, they can just put a pre-order on it for 100 million above what most reasonable people would spend on it, and then use that to try and get a better accessory. They can just do whatever they want, and it kind of sucks. And it hurts the average player because it means that items become more and more out of reach. If I want, for example, my Lahn Dandelion, the pre-order price should not be over 1 billion silver for a dandelion, a base dandelion. That is maybe for the first 10 sold, because I'm sure you have 10 stupidly rich people that have nothing better to do with their money. But after that, like, it really should fall back to earth much faster. But yeah, so hacking, it hurts the game. Late responses to hacking hurt the game even more, because you've really got to take pretty much a zero tolerance policy for hackers. Hackers, they're not people that you want in the game. They're not people that benefit the game. Some hackers in some games, the argument is that they actually do spend money on... see, that +7 is probably going to be pre-ordered as well. But I'm farming Medea, boys. They spend money on cash shop items. In fact, they spend a lot of money because in a lot of games where pay to win is in the cash shop, the hackers will spend more money so that they can properly win, because it's pointless hacking in some games when you do need cash shop items as well. So an argument that a lot of people like to make is, well, they're supporting the game way more than free-to-play players ever are. Why shouldn't the developers cater to the hackers? And the reason for that is because it's the same reason that developers, they need to cater to the whales, but at the same time, you can't cater too much to the whales. And that reason is, if you cater too much to the whales, you collapse the economy of the game. Whales, the reason most people whale is because they want to be powerful. They want to be strong, and they want to show off. In most games, this involves the PvP arena. You go to the PvP arena, you show off. So I might as well actually just go to do my Awakening quest. It's a shame that I've activated a few of my buffs, but... Oh, here, 1 second. How many skill points do I need? What am I Awakening? Crimson Glaives. Earthly Pain. Well, Lahn's, I love her skill names because they're so edgy sounding, like, oh my god. They're edgy and, like, chuny, I suppose is the best word for it, in all the best ways. Like, you've got Earthly Pain, Taunting Death, Furor, Tailspin Throw, Deadly Dance, Flailing Blades, Bloody Stride, Eradication, Phantom Dance, Flow, Mangler, Bridal Despair, Bleeding Hearts. It's like something like a 13 or 14-year-old that's just discovered emo or death or goth or something like that is going to start naming their stuff. Someone's just started listening to My Chemical Romance, Avenged Sevenfold, Bullet for My Valentine, stuff like that. And those are lighter stuff. Those have mainstream appeal. Those are like more pop versions of their respective genres for the most part, except maybe Avenged Sevenfold. And even so. All right, so I was gonna look at points. I don't think I care about Earthly Pain. Taunting Death, 8, 16, 27, 39, 50, 56, 70, 82, 96, 118. So it looks like I need about 118 points, and that's if I don't want to get my E or my F. So I'm actually pretty close. We'll grind for a couple more points, and then we'll head off. Oh, look, and someone just popped a bell, too. Yeah, hacking, it hurts the game. It hurts it a lot. The fact that it was left unchecked for so long hurts it even more. Especially in a competitive PvP game. Like I said, the whales, they want to show off, right? And they want to show off to other players. And you can't show off to other whales because other whales are just as powerful as you are. It just becomes skill, right? When both players have spent $10,000 and they have all the items that they needed from those $10,000, it doesn't become about who spent more money, it becomes about skill again. Which means if you're a bad player, then you're going to get exposed again, and the point of whaling is moot unless you really love the game. But if there are free-to-play players or players that spend a little less money in the ecosystem with you, then you can show off to them, right? Of course, in most games that aren't super pay to win, you're still probably going to lose to the most skilled free-to-play players, the ones that could probably go pro, the top 1%, Maybe even like platinum level players, which are usually top 5 to 10% in most games, could probably still defeat whales in games with decent levels of pay to win. In most mobile games, that's not going to happen though. Whales will win no matter how skilled you are, just because that's how it's kind of meant to be. Sorry, I got the hiccups here. So whales, they really want to be able to show off. And if the game is too whale friendly, so spending money has insane amounts of rewards, like spending $10 gives you a decent amount of power, spending 100 gives you way more, so on and so forth, then the free-to-play players are mostly going to quit, because it's not fun to get constantly destroyed, even though you've learned your combos, you've learned how your class plays, you've learned every minute detail you should have to learn, and then you get destroyed because someone that's done none of this and just kind of spams a bunch of DPS heroes, for example, in a gacha, has fully upgraded weapons and armor that you can't hope to get, and you get wrecked anyways. It's not fun for that to happen. So we'll get to 130 skill points. We're already at 120, which means we need 2 and a bit more. 129, so we'll stop that. It's not fun. It really sucks. And it's kind of like the gear disparity in Black Desert. It's fine for people that already have their soft cap gear or above. It's not fine for people that are just trying to start the game and get wrecked and never want to play again because they don't want to spend months and months having to farm. There are a lot of people here. This is the problem with people activating bells. You activate a bell and people flood the server. Which, I mean, I get that having a bell is nice, but I will stop at 123 skill points then, because it's gotten a little crowded here, and I don't really want to have to share the spot with too many people, so. We'll finish the rotation, and then we'll head to the horse and start the quest. Suppose I should accept the quest, huh? But yeah, so that's what happens with whales, and it's the same problem with hackers. Hackers, if you're hacking, it's either because you're just dicking around and want to experience what the hack is like, or it's because you want to style on people, like using an aimbot in FPS, and using the hack is one of the easiest ways to do it. Nope, not what I want. Here it is. Alright, where do I have to go? Got the UI edited. I'll save this to preset 1. Huh. He's that's actually a lot closer than I was expecting. That's pretty good for me. I thought I was gonna have to go back to Belly or something. That would suck. Even worse, Striker. I hit 56 over here at Wandering Rogues, and then actually I think I hit it at Sawsons. Sorry. I was at Wandering Rogues for like 55.5, and then I said whatever. I went to Sawsons, and then I had to go all the way up to Caltheon for my Awakening quest. Oh, that sucked. Seriously, getting to Caltheon from Medea and then going back again is not... It's not a fun trip, and especially because my Striker, he was just using a random tier 5 horse that I had in my stables. Like, my Lahn at least has a T8 that I purchased in an earlier episode. And at T8 moves pretty quickly. T5, not so much. Because once you go T8, you really can't go back. It just feels too good. So if I wanted to bid on that Dandelion, I'd probably have to go bid now. But we're not going to do that, because I'm probably not going to win. Don't really want to subject you guys to watching my marketplace too much. So I'll just go do my Awakening. So Awakening is pretty cool, you know? So I suppose I might make the Awakening a separate episode. So I'll finish up my thoughts for this one. Basically, hacking, it hurts the game a lot. Hackers need people to show off to, but by catering to hackers, allowing them to run free for so long, you run off all the free-to-play players that hackers want to be showing off to. There's no point in kind of hacking if the game is dead, right? Unless you just want to feel like a god and like you're playing not just Dynasty Warriors, but like Dynasty Warriors on god mode. And even then, I mean, if it's a dead game, there's not much to do. You still have to buy pets and stuff if you want to be earning decent silver. You still spend money. You might as well just play a much more free game. So hackers, they damage the game. I'm glad that they're finally being dealt with, but I'm really hoping it's not too late. There are still hackers out there. There's still people using their ill-gotten gains to spend money. And this has been months of items that should have been pre-orderable, should have been biddable, that normal players haven't really been able to bid on or win because hackers have just been pre-ordering things for such insane prices. So hopefully they continue to make good changes, but I'm not super thinking it's going to happen, honestly. Then again, I mean, Black Desert, there's been so many problems with the game, and every time it's emerged somehow stronger than before. So who knows? Maybe after this they'll make a decent change, and the game will become even stronger than ever. But who really knows, you know? Alright, so what am I doing? I'm going to the auto farm. Use the journal he gave me. Okay. The quest system in Black Desert could use some work, I'll be honest. Okay, hopefully, hackers, they get removed. Everything goes back to normal. Hey, look, a golem. You have a green name, but you are a very scary monster. I do not want to have to fight you. I probably have enough AP to defeat him. Like, I've got almost 200 AP. 184. I'll have higher once I finally get my Zarka. Because the reason I don't have a try right now is because I don't want to try my Rosar. Oh, we're still nowhere close, are we? I wonder why it took me to the auto farm. Maybe that was like a report of what happened. Anyways, I'll end this here. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.